Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all, and thanks for inviting me out where it's warm. Where I come from, it's 35 degrees and back east. So I'm Rudy Bruner with the Rudy Bruner Award, and I'm here to present the 2019 Rudy Bruner Award for Urban Excellence to downtown Sulphur Springs. For those of you not familiar with my award, pardon me for my notes, I apologize. We are kind of unique in the world of architecture awards. We're really about places. Our goal is to discover those and celebrate those transformative places that provide fresh and innovative thinking about our cities and what we can do to improve them. Our winners are distinguished by quality design and the contribution to the economic, environmental, and social vitality of our cities. The purpose of the Rudy Bruner Award, in its broadest sense, is to advance the conversation of how we can make our cities better. Each cycle, we issue a call for entries and receive between 50 and 100 applicants. We assemble a selection committee of 6 urban experts in different fields, including a mayor and a past winner, and the committee meets twice. First to review all the applicants and select 5 finalists, and then to select the medalists. In between, we visit each site, as you guys here know. We spend 3 days, and we report back to the committee on what we find, in detail. The reporting is easy, especially we have winners and finalists like we had this year. But selecting the winners is a very different matter, and generates some very interesting discussions about critical urban issues. We write case studies about each of our winners. They're available in a book form at rudybruneraward.org if you want to look them up. It's important that the experience of our winners be available for other people to follow, for placemakers across the country, and to the extent that the RBA winners helps them on their projects and they become better known, we all win. Since 1987, we recognized 88 projects in 28 states. Winners come from small towns and large cities, in scale from $150,000 neighborhood art installation to a $2 billion urban development. The wind is kind of nice. The 2019 selection committee reviewed applications from 24 states to find the 5 winners. In addition to Sulphur Springs downtown, where Crosstown Concourse in Memphis, Tennessee, is the renovation of an old Sears and Roebuck into a vertical mixed-use village. Beyond Walls in Lynn, Mass, with a public art and lighting initiative in a downtrodden post-industrial city. Also in Texas, Buffalo Bayou in Houston, a resilient new green space that reclaims the historic bayou on which the city was founded. And finally, Parasite Skate Park in New Orleans, which is a do-it-yourself skate park, public skate park, under a highway overpass. So in selecting the 2019 medalists, the selection committee sought projects that address critical issues facing cities across America. Issues like climate change, obsolete and underutilized infrastructure, challenges of ongoing economic changes, the demand for outdoor amenities, places that need increased equity, diversity, and inclusion, places that change the rules about perception and what is possible, places that offer rich stories that illustrate how design can have a meaningful impact on people and their communities. Specifically, the committee commended Sulphur Springs downtown for reimagining the core of your city as a pedestrian-friendly space for businesses and events. The use of urban design and community development principles to bring back the heart of your city, a visionary and proactive government, congratulations, which leads rather than follows, providing a roadmap for municipally driven rather than private or philanthropically driven revitalization, and a replica model for all small towns all across America. And we're pleased to recognize the key players in this creation with certificates. Mark Maxwell. Thank you, Mark, and congratulations. Great job.
So, as many of you know,
there's a whole lot that goes into a project like this, and there are many people involved, and I'm going to name them in a minute when I get back up here and receive an award for the entire city. But for now, I want you to know how proud I am of this. It's amazing just to be mentioned in the same sentence with New Orleans and Houston and Memphis. Wow. And by the Rudy Bruner Foundation. This is a huge national honor, y'all. And so I got an office with lots of stuff on the walls that have been done in this town, and I'm very proud of, and the walls are pretty crowded. But I can tell you this much, I'm making room for this one. Thank you. Also, Ian Lockwood, designer, project designer. Congratulations.
Hello everybody, thank you for coming. When we were drawing this plaza on a piece of paper when this was a parking lot, I'm just overwhelmed to actually see it in real life with everyone enjoying it and the kids enjoying it and the food and everything. So I can't express how gratifying it is to see it in 3 dimensions getting used by all generations. It's just terrific. I just want to accept this award on behalf of the whole design team. No one individual actually makes something like this happen. It's a collaborative effort. I also want to mention the city staff who built this thing. They did a great job. The leadership of the commission and the mayor, again, to build a great city, it takes a village, right? I also want to mention the merchants, the business people, the business association, the Department of Transportation, TxDOT, who actually has jurisdictions over these streets that allow their streets to be made out of brick and made flush so people in wheelchairs can access the square without having to go up and down curbs. Terrific job by all of those folks. And then mostly the public. I want to thank everybody who came out to the meetings and expressed your views about what you wanted to see happen in your public space. And what we did as a design team is we took your ideas and your values and we drew them. There's no other public space like this in the country, and this expresses your values. And I really hope that everyone enjoys this space tonight and next week and for the next century. And lastly, I just want to thank Mark Maxwell for his leadership in this whole thing. He was the glue that held the entire project together. And I have the honor of working with city managers and mayors and so forth across the whole United States. And you've probably got one of the best managers of your city in Texas, if not the entire country. So if it weren't for him, this would not have been a reality. So I want to thank him especially. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your night.
Judge Robert Newsom, we have him here. Judge, congratulations for all your great work here.
Well, I have to admit that when we started turning the downtown upside down a few years ago, I could never have imagined what was going to come out. But I want to commend, first of all, Mark Maxwell and the city of Sulphur Springs for playing lead in all of this, the merchants, the citizens, TxDOT, everybody worked together to make something that is truly special. And I talked to county judges and commissioners and other officials across the state. And truthfully, what I hear from them is, I just wish we could be like Sulphur Springs. So thank you, Mark Maxwell. Thank you to the city of Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County, and the citizens of Hopkins County and Sulphur Springs. We really do have something special. Thank you so much.
Also to the Hopkins County Veterans Memorial Committee panel.
Thank you for the award. Without the people here, because it's privately funded, I don't know who all know that, and to the city that put in more than $250,000 and continue to give with the electricity, the water, the upkeep, and to all of our private donations. Thank you.
Thank you. And the downtown, Sulphur Springs Downtown Business Alliance. Joy Wilson.
Well, I've lived here all my life, and I never thought I would see it so beautiful, and the square so full of people, and not one car parked in the very middle. I proudly accept this for the Downtown Business Alliance.
And additionally, I'm going to give you a plaque. I guess Mark is going to put it somewhere.
So thank you again. I'm accepting this cast plaque on behalf of the city of Sulphur Springs. It's going to go just behind where Jerry Menard is standing under the tree. It's going to be on a post. It'll have its own place. It'll mark the entry from that corner of the square. I want to talk a little bit about the other players, the other people and organizations, and you've got some of them up here tonight. So I'm going to go through the line. The Downtown Business Alliance, what their role was is they got the fire started. They were the ones that said, let's do something downtown. And they were the ones that made me promise when I wanted to change direction a little bit that, by golly, I was going to do what I said I was going to do, and they held my feet to the fire, and they meant it. Then we got the Hopkins County Veterans Memorial Committee. They built the anchor for this thing. They raised $900,000 of private money to build this, and it is a magnificent anchor, and they came at this project with tons of enthusiasm. And it wasn't always frictionless. Sometimes we butted heads, but what we came up with was beautiful. And then the county, I don't know if you guys know this, the county puts more money into this than the city does every year. And it's done through the TIF district because they participated, and so your contribution is actually about 20% more to the TIF district than the city's is. And thank you very much. It couldn't have been done without you. All right, and then there's the tool design group. I got to tell you a story. I'm going to fess up to you. There was a point back before we started in 2008, and I'm going to say that point was late 2005, early 2006, where we realized something important, that we didn't know what we were doing. We had a design for Main Street, and if we'd have built it, it would have been a failure. And one of our council members, Clay Walker, looked at it and he said, I don't know, boys. I think we ought to look at bringing in an other set of eyes to look at this and tell us if it will work. And so I went out looking across the nation. I found 3 or 4 what I would call preeminent experts in the field. And he was the one we chose. And he came in and he really hurt my feelings. The first thing he did when he looked at our plan is he laughed, because he knew immediately it wouldn't work. And so over the next months, he met with the people, found out what was important, and he taught us the principles of successful urban design. I don't know if all of you know this, but most of what you see was not put in by a contractor. Most of it was put in by city staff. With the exception of the bricks themselves, everything else was put in by city staff, and they just did a fantastic job. And lastly, I want to thank the Rudy Bruner Foundation for even thinking of us. It is an honor to be mentioned with those other projects. It blows our minds, and this is just an incredible honor. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Mark. I understand you have some other plans to use with the $10,000 award money.
Yeah, so it comes with money. $10,000, and we had to tell them what we were going to use it on before we actually applied, or with the application. And we told them we would use it on public Wi-Fi. As it turns out, it's going to be enough. And so we're excited. We think within a month or 2, he's nodding his head, we're going to have Wi-Fi on the plaza, on Conway Street, and on Main Street. So pretty soon you'll be able to come downtown and plug in. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, and congratulations to all of us with Sulphur Springs. We're all winners. Congratulations.